Shalom, giving all the praise and honor and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Chakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and safety and much blessings to the Yakim that's pushing this truth out the four corners of the earth and all truth and sincerity and the diligent Shalom. All right, man, as you can see, this article, which comes from the New Republican, right? The title of it is Military Leaders Say Iran War is so Trump can bring about Armageddon. All right, which this is spiritual, because this is, we believe that Donald Trump is the cruel Lord and he's going to, usher in World War III, all right, which, or, Armageddon, what I'm saying, which is synonymous with Armageddon, which is Armageddon, I believe, Armageddon, right, which means mountain of troops, okay? So this article, you can look this up yourself, but I'm gonna only get into one, particular part. I'm gonna just read this first part right here, because, it's like it's evident now that like World War III, the one war has passed. I wouldn't want to butcher it. This is Revelations 11 and 14. It says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly, right? The third woe, the third world's war coming quickly, right? Where the day of the Lord is going to burn like an oven, okay? So look, it says, without any clear message coming from the White House with regard to the purpose of the Iran war, U.S. military commanders have turned to Jesus, apparently telling American troops that the war is biblically sanctioned. All right, that the war is biblically sanctioned, right? Which it is, man. It is. This is the program of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. Okay. This was prophesied and written in the scriptures long before America was even a country, man, was even a thing. All right, that this place was going to go out, in flames. All right. So this place was already written, Babylon the Great already being destroyed by the indignation of the Lord. Okay. So what I want to get into, where I want to start at is, okay, right here it says, one such note included an anecdote from a non-commissioned officer who reported that their commander had urged us to tell our troops that this was all part of God's divine plan, and he specifically referenced numerous citations out the book of Revelations referring to Armageddon and imminent return of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai Mashiach, which this is true. All right, this is true, and these heathens, they know it, man. That this is, the return of the Lord, man. This is what happens. This is what's gonna be happening upon the return of the Lord, man. Okay, and they're scared. Oh, they scared. They scared for sure, man. Right here it is. You had all these different people joining the military. They joined the military for the benefits, to travel the world, to get away from home, to have a way out, or, for money, right? To feel like they're a part of something, but not knowing that, hey, this same very the American military, right, was going to be meeting Yahweh Shai, man, on the battleground. Right, the one who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. It says the NCO's complaint was lodged on behalf of 15 troops, including 11 Christians, 1 Muslim, and 1 Jew, according to Larson. The officer stated that such remarks destroyed morale and unit cohesion and are in violation of oaths we swore to support the Constitution. Right? They scared, man. Destroy morale. This morning, our commander opened up the combat readiness status briefing by urging us not to be afraid as to what is happening with our combat operations in Iran right now, the NCO wrote. He said that President Dump has been anointed by Yahweh Shai. He didn't say Yahweh Shai, but it's just a Jesus word, bro. To light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to earth. Now that's heavy right there, man. That's heavy right there. You see? So he says Donald Trump has been anointed by Jesus, which, hey, in the spirit, yeah. Because Donald Trump is the face of, war right now, man. Because listen, watch this. This is Proverbs 24. It's not 24, maybe it's 21. This is Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hands of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whitherso he will. You see? So the Lord is controlling Donald Trump. So in the way he is sanctioned, he is, controlled by the Lord. Which, it ain't no in the way he is. He's controlled by the Lord, man. Just like how it was with, I want to say, if I remember correctly, this is Isaiah 44. Isaiah 44. This is Isaiah 44:28. And Cyrus, which was a heathen, he is my shepherd and shall perform all my pleasures. Even saying to Jerusalem, thou shalt be built, and to the temple, thy foundation shall be laid. Because what? The Lord put the spirit on Cyrus to allow them to rebuild a temple, man. Okay? Because the Lord controls everything. He controls these heathens, man. Right? Controls us, control everything. So this Donald Trump is just another tool of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right? You see that? So look, it says, let me see. Right, this is, I think it was just that part I wanted to get into. Right, it says, I'm going to read it over. He said that Donald Trump has been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to earth, right? Which, amen, shit, the ways, the way of the kings of the east are being prepared, man. This is Revelations chapter 16, and let's see, 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the waters thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east may be prepared, man. Right? The way of the kings of the east may be prepared, because what? It's going to be a heavy battle that way, man. The ways of the kings of the east, right? They're getting their military together and their armies together to go up to that great day of battle, man. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. The dragon being the ancient Roman Empire, but we know America is the Rome 2.0, man. Rome made all over again. All right, and out of the mouth of the beast, which is the NATO and the EU, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, man, which is the Roman Catholic Church. Now look, because this right here taps into the 3 city-states, which would be Washington, D.C., which would be tapping into the military, London and the financial system, and Vatican City, right, was going into religion, man. And you see in verse 14, it says, these are spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth to the whole world. See, tapping into the what? The MOTB, the RFID chip, the missiles, this devil's technology. Because through technology, through AI, he wants to bring you under, one world government, one world religion, all right, and put this chip in you, man. Which eventually everything, once this chip is implemented, you're gonna see the missiles flying. Any day you're gonna see the missiles flying, man, to make this place desolate. But it says what? To gather them to the battle of that great day of the Almighty. Because that battle, that ultimate battle, man, is what? Behold, I come as a thief in the night. Blessed be he that watcheth and keepeth this garment, lest he walk naked and see his shame. So you what? You're supposed to keep your head on the swivel, man, and stay up in the courts of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, man, right? Praying that the Lord keep your mind, keep your spirit, and walking in faith, all right? That's what it means to keep your garment, man. Staying up on your watch, man, all right? It says, lest he walk naked, right? And they see his shame, man, right? Because it would be shame, bro. It would be a shame to do all of this preaching and teaching, but then in the end you lose faith, bro. Right? You take that MOTB. But this is the point. And he gathered them together, right? Gathered them to the battle, right, of the great day of the Almighty. But it says to gather them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, man, right? So you have to pay attention to that Levant region. Remember, the Lord said he's going to remove the northern army, right, with his face towards the east sea, right, which is the Euphrates, and his hinder parts towards the Red Sea, right? So within that area, Saudi Arabia, that's where this is going to go down, man, take place, okay? This great day of the Lord, man, where he's going to judge the heathens. All right. And look, they are afraid. These people that are in the know, that understand what's going on and seeing all of this, they are afraid, man, because they're about to go up against Yahweh Shai. This is the, the end all be all right here, man. Let's see. This is Revelations 19 and let's see. (11) And I saw heaven open up, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness do he judge and make war. So it says, I saw heaven open up, and behold, a white horse, man, a righteous power, right? That he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. So Yahweh Shai is coming to make war, man. Remember, he said, I'm not coming to bring peace, but a sword, okay? And the slain of the Lord shall be many. He says his eyes were as the flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. That doesn't mean nobody know the name of the Lord. That's only going to his rank, man. Okay? And brothers has done various lessons on this, man. Even I did, okay? It says, and he was clothed with the vesture dripped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High, man. All right? See? So it goes to show you symbolic that, Yahweh Shai is coming back to, to issue out mass casualties. Okay? It says, in the armies, so I feel like I gotta sneeze. We told y'all this, man. We've been telling y'all this for a long time. It says, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. Because he's going to return with the thousands and thousands of angels, man. Right? Those chariots going to be, it's going to be accompanying our great King Yahweh Shai. Out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron. And he shredded the winepress of the fierce and wrath of the Almighty power. Okay, this is his job. This is what he's coming back to do. All right, to smite the nations and rule them with the rod of iron, man. All right, and he had on his vesture, and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That don't mean he had a thigh tattoo, idiots. Okay, it's just this is he's in kingly apparel. It says, and I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power, that ye may eat the flesh of the kings, and the flesh of the captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, free and bond, and small and great. The Lord, the fowls of the air are gonna have a feast, man. And these people, they reading this, and if I guess they're watching the prophet some kind of way, or the Lord is putting that spirit for them to understand that, hey, this is what they about to get themselves into, man. Or if they haven't yet, then they will know. It says, and I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse, and against his army. So what? This goes back to Revelations 12. Revelations 12, where he said what? Same event. This is Revelations 12:7. And there was war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, which is, we know that the dragon is the ancient Roman Empire again, but we know that America, okay, is Rome 2.0. And the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. So the Lord did what? Took them out of rulership. And the great dragon was cast out of what? Rulership. That old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. You so-called white people, all right, your whole race of people, your whole existence, your rulership, right? He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him, man. Right? So you were taken down out of rulership, out of power. Okay? Nations looking at your ass like, how has you become weak as we? All right? So going back to Revelations 19, which that was the same event. Okay? It says, so the beasts and the kings of the earth, their armies, went to make war against Yahushua and his angels, man. Okay, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, right? And that false prophet, going back to Revelation 16, when he was talking about the false prophet, tapping into the Vatican City, right? The Roman Catholic Church. See, the Roman Catholic Church, you go look this up yourself, is it has international ties. Look up Holy See, like Holy and See, SEE. Look that up. International ties. All right. It says, and the beast was taken with him, and the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, right? With which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship the image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone. Okay, so all your whole rulership is going to be cast down when America fall and be obliterated, right? And this place is on flames, man. Right, the cash cow of the earth, the mother of all harlots, man. All that's going to fall at the same time, simultaneously, bro. Like the scripture says, in 1 hour shall she receive her judgment. All right. This is Yahushua taking down, this place, man. This is Yahushua, putting this place to rest, man. Okay? For it to never rise again. This is that event that we're reading about. All right? Now, look, I'm going to play this clip right here. This is how they feel, man. This place, these heathens are divided, man. Right? This is their own military saying these things, man. Okay? This place is divided. Ain't nobody want to fight for these devils, man, because they know that they're doing this according to their own agenda. Look at this.
America does not want to fight this war for Israel. Let's go. Come on, let's go. America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel. Your inability to name that shows your exemptness as leaders. This is wrong. And nobody wants to fight for Israel.
A reminder to all our
Commandant, please stand up as a Marine and stand up for America. No one wants to fight for Israel. The senator broke his hand.
Please help him.
Commandant.
He's a Marine. Somebody come help him.
Control your Senate committee.
Look at you guys. You're robots. You won't even look back. Look at you guys. You're like robots. Oh my God. What?
See? And because they don't care about how this dude feels. You know why? Because they're doing the bidding of the first and foremost they're doing the bidding of the Lord. But you know the Lord is controlling these elites, man. All right. But you see what he was screaming? Nobody wants to fight for Israel. Right? Nobody wants to get involved with this, man. All right. But hey, he said your sons and daughters, right? Which reminds me of the second Ezra 16. Let's see. In the war. Right. Okay. So look, this is second Ezra 16 and 33. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The woman shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. All right? Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. All right? Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and slack not. All right? The plagues draw nigh and slack not. He was screaming, your sons and daughters are going to die in the war. Basically saying that, man. All right? In this right here, exact event. Like we was reading in Revelations the 19th. This is that exact event right here too. It says, and it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with thousands of the heavens. Who's that? That's Yahweh Shai, man. Because did it not say in Psalms, the 68th chapter, he says, well, let's see if it does say that. Psalm 68 and 17. It says, the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. And also, right, let's not forget in Jude 1 and 14. This is Jude 1 and 14. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, behold, Yahweh Shai cometh with 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against them, man. So look what it said, going back to Second Ezra, the 13th chapter, when it says what? In verse 3, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with thousands of heaven. Who is that man? Yahweh Shah. Who's the thousands of heaven? The angels. Okay? We just read it. It says, and this is that same event, man, where Yahweh Shah, pulling up in all godly apparel, in all his rank, man. Okay? And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And these people that's in the military, in all the militaries, they're going to see this. The Lord is going to pull up on all the militaries of the earth, man. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice, like as the earth filleth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there were gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out to sea. So they're going to try to come together to fight Yahweh Shai, man. Remember when we read in Revelations the 19, the beasts and the kings of the earth came together to fight Yahweh Shai, to make war with Yahweh Shai? This is it right here. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. So the chariot that Yahweh Shai is going to be on is going to be so big. He said, so big I can't even see where, it ends, It says, but I would have, so like in verse 8, but after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, but yet durst fight. They were afraid, but yet they still fought, because Yahweh Shai is going to go out in style, man. He wanted this, man. You join this military to come up against me. You doing this, so hey, look, I got something for you. You see? It says, they was afraid, right? But they came together to fight the Lord, bro. So all these different militaries are going to put their differences aside to fight the Lord, man. Okay? But what happens? And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, in the blast of fire and the flaming breath and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burnt them up every one, so that upon a sudden of the innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid, man. So this is what that is, bro. The great day of the Lord. You see? Tapping into what? Armageddon. Okay? The Lord is going to destroy these nations and all the militaries, right? And subdue these heathens, and reign supreme on the earth. So that's what's coming, right? And this is not, you can't say this is sea theories. This is in the news. So with that, Lord willing, you're edified. Shalom.